AI rental. Oh, this one. Now, this one's actually a good one. All right, this is the last one we're gonna look at now, and then we're gonna actually jump straight to. We're gonna attempt our AI the buffoonery here. But guys, let me tell y'all something. Right? I knew something was like a bit shady because I wasn't arguing with somebody, but like I remember this having like a extremely short, by short I mean like one chat message somewhere online about like rental prices, where I believe they were saying that's like, oh, policies or whatever, you getting are pushing rental prices up and whatnot. And I was saying that in reality what it is just that it's not so much as the policies, it's just that for a lot of renters, if there's an eviction moratorium and you're not paying the rent, then like the homeowner, right, the person that actually owns that building that still has to make the mortgage payments or the utilities, whatever, well, not utilities, but like just whatever, right, they got to absorb, they're going to have to absorb the cost somehow. So like if you're especially a business, on the business side of that, where you got a lot of tenants and you have like a handful that go into that category of not being able to pay, then it would make sense that you would potentially raise rent, not by much. Oh yeah. So the argument now, I'm actually remembering now as I was sitting there talking about it, right? They were saying that the stimulus checks that we got, right? Because we only got 3 stimulus checks, right? There was one in like March, or was it March or April? I think it was like April. There was one in December, and then there was like a third one again, I think like around March or April. And like they were saying that it was because of these are the reason why rent went up. And I was like, that's retarded, because like I don't like most any renter that would sit there and any like actual real business renter that would sit there and raise your rent because you got a one-time stimulus check is crazy. And then they're just opening themselves up to potentially lose you, which was stupid. And then they were sitting there saying that, oh, no, we use software, the software thing, to be competitive. And I was like, the real reason why you raise rents is because like more than likely, or those people raise rents is because more than likely they had people that wasn't paying, right? And they had a few of these people, so they raised rents across the board to help like supplement their income, to help cover those things while they were waiting for the moratorium to to stop. And they were like, well, no, this is not actually the case. We was using software in order to be competitive with everybody else. And it's amazing that I had this conversation before this actually hit, right? Where it turns out, kind of like what I was a little bit suspecting, was that what was really going on is that there was just a broader scheme to actually just raise prices as a means of being able to just start getting more money. And it was a collaborative effort between a bunch of people all around, right? Because the thing is that, what's nice about capitalism, right, is that, the best business that offers the best value is the one that wins. What's bad about capitalism is that when you get colluders, like, which is what the allegation in this is, right, then you have this problem where all these companies start working together to be able to all raise prices at the same time, so that way they can all just make a profit. Because if one raises prices and the other one doesn't, then obviously the people are just going to go to that one. So it helps put pressure on keeping prices low, which is good for people, which is good for us. But obviously businesses don't like that. If they can just get extra money out of you, that's what they're going to do. And that's what this thing is, right? Basically, the idea is that, there's a software company, right, that provides these services to rental companies, right, that use it in order to know how to set prices and stuff. And then there was this collaboration between them and all the renter people in order to actually be able to come to a consensus on raising prices together, so that way they could all raise the prices at the same time and profit. Right. And that's a no. I forgot what law specifically you violate when you do stuff like that. But it goes to show you, man. See, like, you spend enough time around the internet talking to just random people, like you pick up on certain things. And I was like, bro, there's no way this sounds right. And like, Lord and behold, then the Department of Justice then starts suing these rental people. So that was cool. I'm just taking a quick look at some headlines just to make sure there ain't nothing of interest that pop out to me. Let's see. Abortion rights battle grows in Texas. Jesus, bro. I don't know why Texas just won't let the shit die. Good Lord. One Piece. Oh, season 2 of One Piece is about to drop on Netflix. I haven't finished watching season 1. I need to. Under house arrest. Okay, so Andrew Tate's back under house arrest. How lovely. I think it was like what? I think it was like new charges. I forgot what exactly they are, but it's just like it's just crazy. Just all crazy stuff. Let's see. Ceasefire talks. Yep. Hurricanes. And okay. Doesn't look like much else is gonna go. All right. So now, that being said, let's go ahead now and throw our headphones on here. All right. I'm just very curious if I'm going to even get this to work. We'll see. We will see. Before I do that, let me, yeah, we can just close this. All right, let me start by getting my phone reconnected here. Oh, wow, Samsung Dex just starts right on up. Nice. And that's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. Nice. All right. Let's open up my industry. Okay. Now, how did I get this working again? Let me think about this. It probably would have really helped if I had make sure I signed in on the other phone before I did this. Okay. Let me. Is it going to hate this? It is. I knew it. Is it still working? Oh, and it's still working. Okay. Wow. For an old phone? For an old phone, that's pretty amazing. Okay, hold on. I just gotta I gotta load an app up. I gotta load an app up. And then I need to see. Am I already signed? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So it hasn't been long enough to where I'm not signed in. All right. Now let's actually go ahead and let's get started. So what do I need to do? So first thing I need to do is jump here into Discord. Right. Okay. Okay, so my Discord is up. And now let's go ahead and on my other computer here. If this works, this would be awesome because I have some significant plans for this next month. Okay. Okay, where is no, it's around here somewhere. Just bear with me. Oh, here it is right here. Cool. All right, let's join this. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Let me gotta mute here. Okay. So hopefully that works. Do I wait, hold on. Okay, let me go like this. And then let me go like that. And okay, cool. All right. So boom. All right. So that's what I like to see. Okay. All right. Moment of truth. Let's see if it works. If it works, awesome. If it don't, oh well. Okay. So can I bring you over here? Maybe? No, I don't want to do that because too much information. Okay. And let's go here. So this is going to be with ChatGPT, and this is going to be through Discord with something I've cleverly put together. And that is why you can see the the profile icons up, right, where you see me talking. This with the green. Got the green circle around it, right? So let's see how this works. Okay, so now if I go ahead and I do this, let's see. Hi, ChatGPT. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. So, I wanted to ask if you would be willing to do a quick test with me, if that's all right.
I'm glad to hear you're doing well. Sure, I'm up for a quick test. What do you have in mind?
So, the idea is that I want to be able to do a intellectual debate. The debate I kind of had in mind was going to revolve around politics. So just imagine that I was to do something like ask you to take your understanding of something like Santa Claus and actually try to structure an argument on why Christmas is good from Santa Claus perspective. Would that be something you'd be able to do? And again, that's just an example. That's not exactly what I want, but just to give you an idea.
I get what you're aiming for. You want to see if I can construct an argument from a specific perspective, like Santa Claus, to support a particular idea. In this case, why Christmas is good. I can definitely help with that. Do you want to run through a similar example or something else for the actual test?
Hmm. You know what? That is a good point. Okay, so how about this? So let's actually do employ that Santa Claus example into play then. Could you, from the perspective of Santa Claus, actually explain to me why Christmas is such a important concept for children, despite it not actually being real for, a bulk of the adult population?
All right, let's imagine I'm Santa Claus. From my perspective, Christmas is incredibly important for children, even though I'm not real in the literal sense. First, Christmas fosters a sense of wonder and imagination. When children believe in Santa Claus, they tap into the magic of possibility. This imagination is crucial for their development, helping them dream, create, and think beyond the everyday. The excitement they feel when thinking about Santa brings joy and hope, which are powerful emotions that contribute to their overall well-being. Second, the concept of Santa Claus teaches children the value of generosity and kindness. The story of Santa emphasizes the importance of giving rather than just receiving. When children think about what Santa might bring them, they also learn about the joy of giving to others, whether it's through exchanging gifts, helping those in need, or simply spreading holiday cheer. This nurtures a spirit of empathy and community. Finally, Christmas and the idea of Santa Claus bring families together. The traditions, whether it's leaving out cookies, writing letters to Santa, or gathering to unwrap gifts, create cherished memories that strengthen family bonds. These moments are often the ones that stick with children as they grow, reminding them of love, warmth, and togetherness. So, from Santa's perspective, even if he's not real, the impact of Christmas on children's imagination, moral development, and family connections is very real and profoundly positive.
I see. So here's my thing when it comes to, presenting fake or fairy tales in that sense to children. Because see, in my mind, while true, these type of values that you're teaching children are definitely important. There's no question about that. But I question the necessity of actually being able to, or needing to really actually presented using a fake persona such as Santa Claus. Is it not possible that you can actually present or teach children like important positive values while actually using real entities or just the values themselves, right? Because I doubt that the values themselves are necessitate a figure like Santa Claus in order for you to actually be able to teach them. Furthermore, my other concern then is that when it comes to then the idea that we are teaching children, these things under the pretense of a fake figure, then is there not any concerns that comes to mind when the children needs to then actually grow up in a sense, right? That Santa Claus is not actually real and we were lying to the children the entire time. But we still want them to believe in the values that we were using Santa Claus to teach them. That be the major concern that I usually have when I hear things like this. But I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe you can persuade me into understanding why such concerns would be kind of trivial in that sense, right? Because since we've been doing this for so long, and it doesn't seem like there's been too bad of an impact. But then again, there are like maybe some extreme examples, I'm sure, where these concerns have actually bore out. And so then the question is just would we just be better off just teaching these values without having to employ a fake figure up front?
You raise valid points, and they highlight important concerns about honesty and the necessity of using fictional characters like Santa Claus to teach values. Let me address your concerns from Santa's perspective and see if we can find some middle ground. First, while it's true that values like generosity, kindness, and family togetherness can be taught without Santa Claus, the character serves as a powerful narrative tool. Stories, myths, and legends have always been a way to communicate complex ideas in a way that's accessible and engaging, especially for children. Santa Claus is a symbol that wraps these values into a magical, relatable package, making them easier for children to understand and embrace. It's not that the values require Santa, but he makes the lesson more memorable and impactful through the power of storytelling. Regarding the concern about honesty, it's important to note that discovering the truth about Santa Claus can actually be a developmental milestone for children. When they eventually learn that Santa isn't real, it's often handled in a way that transitions them to a deeper understanding of the values behind the story. Parents typically explain that Santa is a symbol of the generosity and love that everyone can share, so the focus shifts from the literal belief to the essence of what Santa represents. This process can teach children about critical thinking, understanding metaphors, and the idea that stories can hold deeper truths, even if they aren't factually real. It's true that there are some extreme examples where children might feel betrayed upon learning the truth, but these cases are relatively rare. In most instances, children move past this realization without significant harm, and they retain the values they were taught. The key is how the transition is managed by the parents and the emphasis they place on the underlying messages. So while teaching values without Santa Claus is certainly possible and can be effective, Santa offers a unique blend of magic, imagination, and narrative that makes those values come alive in a special way. It's about finding the right balance and making sure the focus is on the lessons rather than just the figure himself.
I see, and that's actually a pretty good point, especially in the sense of giving a powerful image for children to kind of latch onto in order to teach them these things. Now, my counter argument to that would
I'm
just
glad that
be,
point resonated with you. Using a character like Santa can indeed make the learning process more engaging and memorable for children.
okay, sorry, I didn't mean to trigger the speech there like that. But what I wanted to get to was just that my other question then is we have seen instances where children have, in a sense, acted or matured much quicker than we are typically accustomed to, and to me, this presents us a evidence that maybe that there is a case to be made that we coddle children or baby children a little too much, and which kind of hampens their developmental process and actually kind of slows them down. Because if we could, as a example, if we could have children attain intellect to the level of what we would typically see a college student at the age of like 12 or 13, for example, as just like a random example here, then I want to understand, why is it that we don't try to pursue that, which would require certain things like omitting these fake or imaginary things that may not actually be necessary in order to teach children values and help with their development in a much sooner time frame. I'm paused it real quick because I want to know why my system started frizzing out. You see, not a real stream without without a struggling. I tell you. Hold on, let me just put that down there real quick. I like that. All right, hold on. My system here is acting a little wonky. Let's figure out what we got going here. And okay, yep, that looks good. That looks good. And I guess it just must just be some occasional. It's got to be just something occasional. This is what I'm gonna do. Give me 2 minutes. I gotta throw on some heat on some heat on socks while I'm at it anyway. And is my coffee like cooled down enough? Because I have freshly brewed coffee. I know, right? Wasn't it awesome? And see, this is just trying to like just structure an argument with about Santa Claus. So now I'm just going to see, and I don't know. Okay, so let's actually talk about it too, right? While my toes are freezing because I don't have my heat up socks on because I'm very bougie. All right, look, let me tell you guys. Okay, I had this idea. So first off, it took a lot of work because the company, OpenAI, isn't it OpenAI, right? That makes ChatGPT. Yes, right. They have a really ironclad restriction on trying to use the ChatGPT voice thing, not on a mobile phone at all. And I mean, I tried so many different ways to like try to get around it, from emulators to like actual like dev environments and whatnot. And I just like, they did their thing. Like they really locked it down to where you are not using that service on anything but a phone. And maybe I'm just like also limited in my approach, right? So I was like, okay, I happen to have old phones, right, that I could just sit there and run ChatGPT off of. At first, I was going to do my iPhone. Turns out my iPhone's too old. Apple is just trash, okay? And my app died. My application died. Why? Why is that? Why is that? Hold on. Come back, Samsung Dex. I need you to come back to me. Okay, but right, so my iPhone was too old. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to use my other phone. Now the problem is my other phone, the camera that you guys see right here, that's on my other phone. So my other phone's working on it. So I needed to be able to not only run the app on there, I needed to have a way to be remotely connected to my phone at the same time. It's an old phone. So like, while like I got to give it to Samsung for putting in some power on these older phones back then before Apple really was doing anything, right? I'm actually extremely shocked that it's handling the way it is, but it was still an old phone. So it was a concern about, would it be doing too much like we love doing? So I need to be able to remote control my phone from my PC was requirement number one. I needed to be able to do all these things while not screwing with the video that's on a separate application. And you know how finicky phones can get when you're using multiple applications and then one's in the background or two of them is in the background, right? So that was the second one. And then the third one was I needed to be able to then also actively use the ChatGPT app. So that was that. And then the last one, right? Because I didn't want to have like some cheesy speaker camera thing, right? Which also would have been like really complicated to do with my current setup. The last thing I needed to do was I needed to find a way to feed the audio to my PC. Luckily, this phone has an audio jack, right? So I was like, oh, okay, you know, I can just simply, and of course I tried some other things, you know, with I forgot what the V-band or whatever those applications are on like wirelessly streaming audio and stuff. The problem, my necessity was I needed speaker sound from the phone to be recognized as microphone sound to the PC, right? Which was a lot more complicated than I initially thought it was going to be, from a software perspective. Because a lot of times, like a lot of software I was using was sound, like sound to speaker, or, you know, audio output, microphone to microphone. And I needed microphone to speaker, or no, speaker to microphone, excuse me. So phone speaker to computer microphone was what I needed. And it was such a pain. And then, so like, luckily, this phone in particular still has those millimeter jacks, 3.5s. So I was like, okay, I happen to have one that was just long enough, literally just long enough to go from my phone, from where I normally keep it at, to my PC, where I could just put it in the microphone jack, and boom, there we go, right? So, and then of course, you know, because I do a dual system setup, right? That was the next cool thing I was able to do, because see, I can have this Discord call where I am like actually talking to it in one application, or excuse me, in one Discord instance on my streaming PC, right? Where this is all going into the Discord call, and then it funnels into the Discord application on the other PC, right? Where the ChatGPT microphone is actually in to be able to like actually pass the stuff back and forth, which was pretty cool. I think it was a phenomenal idea. I like it. I think it was pretty cool. So that's more or less my setup, or at least how I envisioned it. And with that being said, give me like literally 1 minute. I'm just going to I need to swap I just need to swap something real quick, and I need my socks. I'm dying. I am dying. So we'll be right back. Literally, I just need like 2 minutes. All right, hold on. Is it up yet? Is it up yet? It is. All right, let's reconnect it. And let's see what we got here. So we know, right? On my laptop, on my graphics card, my 3D is hovering at around 80%, 80 to 85%. Copy is around 40%. My video encode, which was at 80 to 95%, is now, for whatever reason, down to about 60%. In my mind, it stabilized suspiciously. I don't know how, I don't know why, but that's just how it is. My video decode is at 50%, and my graphics dedicated GPU is nearly capped out at 3.9 out of 4. 3.9 out of 4 gigs. Amazing. Just amazing. All right, let's get back to it now. So okay. I guess when you live that close to the edge, just any sudden change and it'll just botch the whole thing. So anyway, so now that we got that back, let's go ahead and get us back into our conversation on Santa Claus here as we wrap this up. All right, ChatGPT. So back to our conversation regarding Santa Claus. I'm sorry, I was having some technical issues. Haven't we seen cases where children have been able to grow up much faster than we've typically expected? We've seen instances of children before the age of 18 going to college and even graduating with their degrees. We've seen cases where children break well, not necessarily records, but they design like new products and things like that actually have life-saving applications. Like I recall one child that designed a new type of switch for solar panels, so that way when a firefighter is trying to get to a house that's on fire, they actually have a safe way of disabling the solar panels from generating electricity. Because if you'd imagine, right, you can cut the electricity off to a house, but you can't necessarily stop a solar panel during a daylight from generating electricity, which could be hazardous. And it's just examples like these that I point to, that wouldn't it be reasonable to assume that we are actually holding our children back, and that we're not allowing an environment or a educational space to actually bring them up to speed regarding adult level concepts? And
you bring up some
topics.
compelling examples that highlight the incredible potential children have when they're encouraged to think critically and creatively from a young age. The accomplishments of young prodigies in various fields indeed suggest that children are capable of grasping complex concepts and making significant contributions to society, sometimes well beyond what we traditionally expect. From the perspective of Santa Claus, I'd acknowledge that while the magic and wonder of Christmas stories like mine can be enchanting, there's also merit in fostering an environment where children are challenged and encouraged to reach their full intellectual and creative potential. The achievements of those young inventors and scholars you mentioned show that when children are given real-world problems to solve and the tools to address them, they can excel in remarkable ways. However, I would argue that the stories and myths, like the one about me, don't necessarily hold children back, but rather serve as one part of a balanced upbringing. While it's crucial to challenge children and expose them to real world issues and opportunities, it's also important to nurture their emotional and imaginative development. The fantasy of Santa Claus can coexist with the encouragement of critical thinking and real world problem solving. It's all about balance, using stories to teach values and inspire creativity while also promoting real world skills and knowledge. Ultimately, children benefit from both approaches. They need the freedom to dream and imagine, as well as the opportunity to engage with reality in meaningful ways. By combining the magic of stories with real world learning, we can help children develop into well rounded individuals who are not only capable, but also compassionate, creative, and wise.
All right, you bring up some really good points. And so with that being said, that kind of concludes our test. I thank you so much, ChatGPT, for this wonderful kind of example of debating that you was able to show me. So I'm actually ready now to begin setting the stage for a future type of debate if you'd be willing to hear me out.
I'm glad the test went well and that you found it helpful. I'm definitely interested in hearing more about the debate you want to set up.